Live team coverage starts now.
It's just a sick feeling in your gut. Yeah, it's a punch to the gut, and it just don't go away.
The National Guard came in and we waited so we could get out safely. I was not leaving my dog behind. So I got my puppy and here we are.
I want to welcome you now to our continuing coverage of Hurricane Milton here on 10 Tampa Bay on this Friday morning at 9 a.m. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jamison Euler.
I'm Caitlin Lockerbie. This 9 a.m. special edition as we track the aftermath of Milton here across the Tampa Bay area. Thanks for sticking with us here. We've got a lot to get to this hour and several updates for you as well. Right now, this is a very deadly storm. Unfortunately, 16 people have died, at least 5 of them in the Tampa Bay area, 2 from St. Pete, 1 in Tampa, 1 in Polk, and 1 in Citrus.
Yeah, thousands of people still without power. Crews are hard at work to get it back on. If you're seeing us for the first time since you lost it during the storm, we want to welcome you in, of course. Hopefully everything is okay for you and you're staying safe. Cleanup is underway throughout the Bay Area as well. Now twice the work since we're dealing with Helene and now Milton damage.
And just in, we do have some good news to report. Water service being restored on the islands of Anna Maria and portions of the town of Longboat Key, but there is still a precautionary boil water advisory in effect for much of the area too, so keep that in mind before you get ready this morning as you brush your teeth. And look at this, TPA officially open, but definitely backlogged right now. Just checking the flight status. Right now there are 109 cancellations, 22 delays to let you know about. So even though the airport is open and operating, you definitely want to check with your flight before heading to the airport today. Going to be a lot of backlog as we get things back in gear after this storm.
Absolutely. Let's go to Pasco County now, where they're issuing voluntary evacuations due to historic river flooding there. Impacts anyone living in those low-lying areas or flood-prone areas. The following neighborhoods in Elfers, Cypress Creek, at Worthington Gardens, and Thousand Oaks. We know that there were yet again more water rescues there in Pasco County, just like there were after Helene. We spoke to Sheriff Chris Nacco yesterday in that area of Trinity that they were working on. So a lot of work still to be done, because now we have to worry about river flooding, and that's when we're going to turn now to meteorologist Amanda Pappas with more on that. Amanda?
Good morning to you guys. So yeah, talking about all that river flooding in Pasco County, let's look at Anclote. Right now, they're at a major flood stage. Look at this, seeing that flood stage, right now, that river level is at 26.56 feet. Look at that. So 26.5 feet there. We really do see that this major flood stage is getting pretty close to that previous record of about almost 28 feet of water. So it's cresting right now. So that means as we head into tomorrow that all these river levels, the water levels are going to gradually begin to drop, which is great news for us. But right now they're at that major flood stage. I'll be talking about the rest of the rivers as well, all across our Bay Area, especially north of I-4. That's where we saw what Hurricane Milton brought really was that freshwater flooding threat, and that's why a lot of our rivers to our north are the ones at that major flood stage. Meanwhile, the ones to the south, not as much, just because we saw less in terms of those rain chances. Now, speaking about rain, we're completely dry out the door other than a few couple of showers over towards Highlands County, but aside from that, really looking great overall. We're going to get to what we have out the door right now, which is tons of sunshine. It's a beautiful day outside. We continue to see some sunshine, mix of sun and clouds, and much cooler temperatures. I'll have a look at those temperatures outside now and for later on in that 7-day forecast, all in just the next couple of minutes. But right now we got to talk about traffic, get you out there on the road. I know lots still going on there.
Oh my goodness. Good morning to you all. So glad you're joining us here on 10 Tampa Bay. We are looking at I-275 at Bush Boulevard. If you're going to be headed into Tampa, or maybe you have some loved ones expected to be on the roads, expect a very congested ride. Right now things are looking okay, but it's starting to get busier than what we saw just about in the last hour. Southbound headed into Tampa along 275, you may run into some stop and go traffic as so many people are trying to head back into our area. Take a look at our road weather hazards map. There are a lot of things that could potentially be blocking your drive this morning, and that includes things like trees along our roadways, a lot of traffic lights that are out, some streets are flooded, and you may see a lot of debris as well. So take it easy and treat stoplights, if they're not working, treat them as a 4-way stop sign. All right, back to you guys.
All right, thank you so much, Sarah. Yeah, really important there, because a lot of those stoplights as we were coming into work today.
Yeah.
You saw these, you come up with these intersections and then all of a sudden you see that they're out. So everybody's got to treat that as a four-way stop and it gets a little bit dicey. But here's the big problem today. Gas in a great need today. There's huge lines at any gas station this is open. And this is video from right across the street from where we are right now at I-4 in Hillsborough.
Yeah, and it is quite the line out there and quite the mess when it comes to cars trying to get around that intersection there. So pack your patience is what they say, but it's really difficult right now. I know a lot of people really feeling desperate as they are seeing their tanks become empty
and people are getting testy.
High tension out there.
Yeah, we don't need to be nice here. People are getting testy over there right now when it comes to who's in line, who's next, you're taking too long, how many of those jugs are you going to fill up. So just remember, we're all trying to get gas at this point.
Right.
So you got to be patient as we're trying to get that as well.
Yeah. All right, and if you can maybe avoid staying off the roads for a little while longer, we're going to hope that those tanks get filled up. Yeah. All right, let's send things over to Rob Hackford. He's been monitoring Sarasota. The other big part of the story today is so many people, hundreds of thousands of us across the Tampa Bay area without power. So the crews behind you are a welcome sight right now, Rob.
Yeah, indeed, guys. Caitlin and Jameson, those efforts to get 150,000 customers in Sarasota County, 70,000 customers in Manatee County, get their power back on, well underway behind me. We've had a steady line of utility trucks heading out of the staging area in Sarasota, right at the Sarasota Fairgrounds. Now, I want to have you get a sense of the scale here, the scale of this operation. We've got some drone video for you just at sunrise this morning of all these crews, utility and tree crews covering every parking lot your eye can see here. At the back of the fairgrounds, living quarters have been set up for crews who will be spending days in Southwest Florida, if not a week or more, helping with this massive effort. Damage assessment started for Florida Power and Light yesterday as soon as the winds died down, and that assessment ongoing today, as you might imagine. Cleanup underway as well because of that. Now, also restoration, as we mentioned, tens of thousands of folks have had their power turned back on. A lot of people, though, are still waiting. We know that. We were without power in Venice this morning. For communities that haven't had their power turned back on, we asked Florida Power and Light what their strategy is going forward.
With areas that serve critical facilities, so your hospitals, your police, and your fire stations. Then we move on to main community thoroughfares that have community essentials like gas stations, pharmacies, and grocery stores. Those facilities that are really necessary for the community's restoration and not just the energy grid. While we're doing that, we're getting thousands of customers back up online. Then we move to the very tight, difficult pockets where maybe it's a community's out because trees have just toppled all of the lines there that take hours to get the lights back on. Our crews are working relentlessly there until every single customer is restored.
Yeah, we got word that a transmission line actually had gone down by the airport, so the power isn't getting to your home because it isn't going out in the first place. The parking lot behind me, though, if you can see past these trucks here, it was full this morning, full even just a couple hours ago, so these crews are heading out, trying to get this work done. A lot more to do, though. Reporting live in Sarasota, Rob Hackford, 10 Tampa Bay.
All right, Rob, thank you so much there. And another area that is really hard hit right now, especially when it comes to power and devastation, is Pinellas County. Our Miranda Parnell is live for us there this morning. She's in Gulfport, and similar to so many stories we're seeing around the Bay Area right now, Miranda, you guys are also having issues trying to find gas, and there's no power behind you either.
That's right. I spoke to a woman today who said she was not really impacted by Hurricane Helene, and then now with Hurricane Milton, she has no water, no power, no sewage, and she says she also has a leaking roof. So it's been a true 1-2 punch for this community. But as the sun gets brighter out here, we're seeing more people get to work. We've been seeing linemen come through down this main strip. We've seen tree cutters come through. And like Caitlin said earlier, if you don't have to be out and about, you might want to just stay off the roads. A lot of the roads around here are blocked off. Some of them are still impassable. I know that we said Gulfport police yesterday were already working to kind of move some of that tree debris out of the way. But if you don't have to be out, you don't want to. One, there's a shortage on gas around here. And then two, there's still just so many hazards in the roadway. Just down the road, we saw them cut down a tree that was leaning. So right now in the street over there, they are having to work on breaking that tree up. So if you can stay home, stay out of your car, just go ahead and do that, because, you know, this devastation that we saw with Helene has now just blended in. It's hard to tell what is from Milton and what is from Helene, but either way, the folks here in Gulfport say that they are ready to get to work rebuilding, restoring their community. We talked to a gentleman today who said he was in Colorado, came down here to help because he was living in this community as recently as May, and he said he knew that it was going to be an all hands on deck situation, and he wanted to make sure that he was there for these people as they start to rebuild. So that's been the key here in Gulfport, and we'll keep walking around and talk to some other folks today to find out where things are for people who are living in Gulfport. In Gulfport, Miranda Parnell, 10 Tampa Bay.
Thanks, Miranda. We appreciate the update there. You can see people with their cameras out outside. I know it's heartbreaking for our community, too, to see what is such a beautiful waterfront there, really in shambles right now as we work to put it back together. Also, another note, in the St. Pete area, a lot of people with spotty cell service and internet out as well, making it hard to communicate. So let your loved ones know that you're okay when you can. And I know you can find some Wi-Fi hotspots and outside of like Publix and Walmart, too.
And you can actually find a lot of help right here at 10tampabay.com/recovery. There you can find county by county information that'll help you recover from this storm. Whatever it is you need, there's a lot of resources there for you. If you have a question, there's answers there for you as well. 10 Tampa Bay will be back right after this.